Ole Miss fans need a hotel for the game weekend? Many OTAs keep all the commissions, but at Fan Plans, you still get your loyalty points, receive direct confirmation from the hotel, and you support Rebel Grove. Visit fanplans.com/Rebel Grove today.
Welcome into another edition of the Davison Igbinosun Show, presented by the College Corner. I'm Neil McCready. That is Ole Miss freshman cornerback Davison Igbinosun. I started to say soon-to-be freshman All-American, but we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. But you keep playing like this, and that's probably going to happen. Welcome back into the show. Ole Miss coming off of a big 22-19 dramatic last-minute win over the Kentucky Wildcats in Oxford. The Rebels now 5-0 overall, 1-0 in the SEC. They head to Nashville this weekend to play Vanderbilt. That game's a 3 o'clock start at Vanderbilt Stadium. You can see it on the SEC network if you're not making the trip to Nashville. Ole Miss now ranked number 9 in the country. Vanderbilt, by the way, 3-2 overall, 0-1 in the SEC. They have losses to Wake Forest and Alabama. So the teams they've lost to have been nationally ranked clubs. Pretty improved Vanderbilt team under Clark Lee. So we'll talk about the Commodores. We'll talk about the game against Kentucky and more with Davison here in just a second. First, I want to tell you that we're brought to you by the College Corner. It's your one-stop Rebel Shop. 2 locations in the Jackson area in Ridgeland. The College Corner is next to Fleet Feet. In Flowwood, it's next to Half Shell. If you don't live in Jackson, it's okay. You can go to College Corner at collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram, whether you're tailgating in Oxford or home gating with friends and family. The College Corner has you covered for game day with the largest selection of Rebel gear in Central Mississippi. Davison, how are you?
I'm good, Neil. How are you?
Man, I'm good. We talked about this a number of times. You wanted to play in the SEC. It's one of the big reasons you decided to leave New Jersey and not go to Rutgers was to come to Ole Miss and play in the SEC. And your first taste of true SEC football was a pretty good one, my man. That was a hell of an atmosphere and a heck of a football game. That had to be one you'll remember for a long time.
Yes, it will be.
I guess take me through the day a little bit. The Walk of Champions, all that's obviously different when there's an SEC team in town. Nothing against Tulsa or Central Arkansas, but it was Kentucky. Kentucky brought a ton of people. They were ranked number 7 in the country coming in, a program that, just like Ole Miss, had been winning a lot heading into that game. Kind of, could you feel a different vibe just walking through campus on your way to the stadium?
Definitely.
Tell me a little bit about that. What was that like? And then when you got to the stadium, just take me through the morning a little bit.
It was a 11 a.m. kickoff, so we had the Walk of Champions around 8 o'clock. It was completely packed, like a whole bunch of Ole Miss fans and Kentucky fans as well. The stadium was sold out, packed the entire time, like wild.
So you guys go against a Kentucky team that plays a very deliberate style. I mean, they take their time between plays. They use most of the play clock. It looks like they try to be kind of physical. They do the play action stuff. They came in with Will Levis, big arm quarterback. And then I was asking you this before we got started. Barian Brown, the wide receiver for Vanderbilt, the freshman, your class, you'd played against him before, so you had a little bit of a clue as to what was coming. Had you defended him before?
Yeah, I did in all American game.
That cat, man,
he can fly.
He can really run.
Yeah.
So when you're going against a guy like that with that kind of speed, does that sort of, I don't know, not change the way you do anything, but I would assume, I've never played cornerback in my life, but I would assume that you've got to be totally aware, cognizant of his speed at all times, because if he gets a step on you, even a guy like you, he gets a step on you, it's going to be hard to catch him.
Right. You have to be like locked in, going against guys that can fly like that, because if you make a mistake, you're done for.
Do you know him at all as a guy? I mean, I know he considered Ole Miss pretty heavily. He'd be a difference maker on the Ole Miss team as well. I mean, that guy's he's an amazing young football player.
Yes, he is.
What were your thoughts about Levis? You came in with a lot of people talking about him as a first round quarterback. Some people think he's potentially the first pick in the draft. I know he's got a big arm. They took some deep shots on you guys. They really didn't execute on those. They hurt you a little underneath getting the ball to Brown just with his speed a little bit. What were they trying to do? How did you guys feel like you defended it?
I think they tried to like run the ball a lot. Like I didn't see him make too many flashy throws, if I'm being honest with you.
What about Rodriguez? They'd gotten him back, the big running back. They missed him in the first 4 weeks. I mean, you didn't have him on film this season. What was he like to bring down?
He's a SEC back, physical, gonna punish you at the point of attack. He's a guy.
So I was telling you before we got started, and the reason I say this about you being a candidate, there's a lot of football left for freshman All-American, is I look at your stat sheet. You got 19 tackles. You played 69 snaps, I think, last week. You had 19 tackles total. You got a PBU, and that's about it. And so some people who don't understand football will look at that and go, well, he's not doing much. The truth is, you're locking down your guy. You're really taking a receiver away from the quarterback. Are you surprised that you've been this effective against college players this quickly in your career?
Humbly speaking, no.
What's that? Do you sense that you're frustrating guys? Because I got to think that some of these receivers look across and they're like, all right, this guy's a freshman. I know he's good, but he's a freshman. I'm going to get him. And they have to be getting frustrated as the game goes on when they can't get any separation from you.
Yeah, they do get frustrated a lot, like because they if you see a freshman corner, you're gonna want to take shots on him, but they can't do that on me. I don't allow it.
So where'd you get? I know I've asked you this before, but I'm really curious. I want to get in your head a little bit. Where did you get this mindset? Because you're not really that way. Like in this conversation, you're pretty mild mannered. You're a nice guy. The people that know you are like, oh yeah, he's a really good kid. All that stuff. They don't ever say, no, he's brash, he's cocky, all that stuff. And I've heard that about corners before too. Like he's insane, stuff like that. Not in a bad way, but just like that guy's not normal. They don't talk about you that way. So how is it that you have this mentality that no, you're never going to get anything on me? It's just not going to happen.
I just been playing. I honestly would. I think it's my older brother. Like just going against him every day. I got that mindset.
So you guys now, you got the win. Let's talk about a couple of those plays at the end. I want to get your thoughts. I was talking to Troy Brown about this a little earlier, and he admitted that it was almost kind of frustrating. You guys had a 3-point lead. Kentucky was driving the field. They got inside the 20, and on that 4th and 2, A.J. Finley makes a big play, causes a fumble on Levis. You guys come off the field like 2 minutes and change left, and you're kind of celebrating, and before you know it, you guys are back on the field. Kentucky got the 3 and out. They had 2 timeouts. They got the stops. They get the ball back. What's that like to go from, hey, we made a stop, we're off the field, to, okay, we're back on the field?
To be honest with you, I would rather be on the field if the game's on the line. Like, I mean, like, we just had to go and prove it again. We just got another opportunity.
So you know how fast Berrien Brown is. The reason we talk about him so much is because he had an opportunity late in that game. They hit him on a little short pass. He gets free. You know, because you've played against him, you know how fast he is. Yeah. When you see him sprinting down the sideline, were you thinking, uh-oh?
Yeah. We had to go chase him down immediately.
How confident were you that Trey was going to get to him, Trey Washington?
Oh, on the kickoff return?
No, on the 51-yard pass that got him to the 7.
It was Isheem Young and Prince. You know, Trey Prince is, well, I think Trey Prince is the fastest corner in the country. So I kind of knew he was going to catch him down. Like, if you see it on film, he kind of like trains to get him at the 10.
When they get to that spot and they're kind of hustling on you guys, what's going through your mind right there? Because obviously they're going for the kill shot. They've put themselves back in position. They're, inside the 10-yard line. It's 1st and goal. They've got a real opportunity right there to take a win from you. What were you thinking at that point?
In my head was deny him the ball. Like, I think it was 10 in front of me. I'm like, he's not catching it on me.
So you guys get that stop. What was that like for you? The emotion of winning a game that was that contested, and it really was. It was a great football game to watch as an observer. When you realize that game's in your hand, what goes through your mind on a day like Saturday?
Honestly, my first thought was thank God. Like, I mean, that is why I came into SEC for games like that. Like, that was a game. It came down to the last drive, last play of the game. I was just excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, it was a really fun game to watch. It really was. It was. I can't even imagine what it's like to play in a game at that level. I'm going to ask you some questions about Vanderbilt in a minute, but first, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with a challenge in life, but when you learn how to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. A therapist can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big, how small. I've used therapy as a way to handle stress, clear negative thoughts. It was a life changer for me. If you're thinking of giving therapy a try, BetterHelp's a great option. It's convenient, it's accessible, affordable, entirely online. Get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey. Switch therapist anytime. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can help get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/MPW today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/MPW. All right, you guys go to Vanderbilt, your first SEC road game of your career against the Commodores, an improved team. I know it doesn't always show in the record, but you can tell. I asked Lane Kiffin about this on Monday, and he said as much. This program's come a long way under Clark Lee in 2 years, and you guys go there with the number 9 in front of you, which I know people could say it doesn't mean anything, but it made that Kentucky game a little bit bigger. They had a 7 in front of their name. That national ranking starts to matter. You guys have that top 10 ranking now. You're the hunted, not the hunter as much. How's that? Does that? I'm assuming with you, it doesn't change your mindset at all. But do you sense a difference inside the building?
No, I don't. To be honest with you.
Tell me a little bit about Vanderbilt. They've been more competitive. They got a couple of different quarterbacks, a little bit better than maybe they've been in the past. What do you think of them?
I think they're a lot better than they've been in the past, and they have 2 quarterbacks. I believe 5. And I want to say 13. 13 is a true freshman. He's going to throw it around a little more, and 5's a runner. They have a 6'3" receiver. He's believe he made a couple plays against Alabama, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm looking at their stat guys right now. Their leading receiver is Will Shepard, has 26 catches. Jaden McGowan has 22, and then Ray Davis, the running back, has 13 out of the backfield. He's a good back. Davis is.
Yeah.
Going on the road, probably not going to be the same kind of atmosphere that you guys had a week ago. When obviously in a game like that, you don't have to create a lot of artificial energy. It's there in the stadium. It's just coursing throughout the stadium. When you go on the road in a place where it's probably not going to be that much, is that something you have to kind of create for yourself?
Definitely. Like, if you don't do that, you're probably going to start off slow, and like you can't do that in this league, because if you come out flat, probably gonna get upset. Like the Georgia and Missouri game.
Yeah, you watch those games around the country, and you see these teams get off, like Georgia got off to a slow start, and it was late fourth quarter before they finally put that away. How do you create that energy where it's not there from the fans and that kind of thing? How do you kind of make that happen? How do you make yourself start hot? You guys have been pretty good about that this year.
You have to have like I believe Coach Kevin calls it a faceless opponent.
Yeah. How difficult is that each week to go through a week going, hey, it's another week, it's a different opponent, but it's the same process, knowing that one week it's the 7th-ranked team in the country. The next week you're going on the road. You got Auburn coming up, and then you got to go. You're going to LSU, where you know it's going to be crazy. Is it difficult just to kind of stay steady and have every Monday the same, every Tuesday the same, every Wednesday the same?
No, you have to take it day by day. Like you got to go hard Tuesday, go hard on Wednesday, and then I feel like it's the same process each week.
So I always get the older guys, they kind of rave about both you and Quinshawn. True freshmen, this time a year ago, you were playing high school football, and yet the moment doesn't seem like it's too big for you. I guess, what do you attribute that to? Is that your upbringing, or is there something in you that's just kind of made you acclimate easier to stuff? Because there's a lot of really talented players, Davison, who their true freshman year, they're just not ready. They end up being really good college players. They go on to the NFL, all that stuff, but their true freshman year, they're not ready to go. What is it about maybe you, and if you want to speak to Quinshawn, that lets you guys be that kind of guy?
First and foremost, I want to say Q is different. That is a man child. He's different. But I would want to say, like, we were probably just like born for this college, like football.
So I guess kind of when you start hearing things about awards and stuff, do you ever allow yourself to think big picture? Do you have do those things enter your mind, or do you?
You can't think awards, especially not right now, because like if you play good team football, they'll come.
How's it been this semester balancing all of the things that are in your life? You've got school, obviously, you've got athletic, you've got football, you've got, I'm sure, social stuff that you like to do or try to do. How difficult is it?
Time for that? Don't really have much time for social stuff. I'm being honest with you. Just
so how do you balance the school? What's your routine in terms of finding time for your academics?
So I try to get all my schoolwork done on Monday and Tuesday. So Thursday, Friday, I'm just watching a whole bunch of film on our opponents.
How much film a week do you have to watch for you to feel comfortable with what you're going to go up against?
So I watch Sunday after the game. Watch Sunday. I watch throughout the entire week.
Is there a certain number of hours that you feel like you've got to get in before you're like totally comfortable, or is it sort of like studying for a test? You know when you're ready.
Right, it's like studying for a test.
Yeah. Going to Nashville. Have you been to Nashville before?
No, I haven't.
The country music capital of the world. Are you a country music person at all? What's your music of choice? Is it rap, rock?
Definitely rap.
Who's your favorite rapper?
I like Kodak Black.
Are you a music guy before games? Are you a quiet guy before games?
I'm definitely a music guy.
All right, so you headed to Nashville, another big road game for you guys. When you get back, you got Auburn coming to town. It's the halfway mark of your freshman season. Can you believe that you're almost halfway through your freshman year in terms of this is game 6? It feels like it just started.
Definitely, it does feel like it just started. Like it was just Troy.
Yeah. So we'll talk next week. We'll get back together. We'll talk about Ole Miss's trip to Vanderbilt. The Rebels will be getting ready the next time we talk to Davison. Getting ready for the Auburn Tigers headed to town for week 7, week 3 in the SEC in October that features a home game against Auburn, and then that road trip to LSU and the Texas A&M to finish the month of October. So don't forget, we're brought to you by the College Corner, collegecornerstore.com. Largest selection of Rebel gear in Central Mississippi, collegecornerstore.com. For Davison Igbinosun, I'm Neil McCready. That does it for the Davison Igbinosun Show. We'll be back with another week. If you're traveling to Nashville for the game, be safe, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Good one.